Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we'll delve into the remarkable story of the beloved actor, comedian, and musician whose charm and immense talent made him a household name, Dudley Moore. From his extraordinary musical gifts in childhood, to his meteoric rise in Hollywood, to his challenging personal struggles, Dudley Moore's life was marked by both dazzling successes and poignant heartbreak. Join us as we unravel the highs and lows of this true Renaissance man's journey, celebrating his enduring legacy while reflecting on the tragic final chapter that still resonates with fans around the world. Childhood Dudley Stewart. John Moore's early years paint a vivid picture of a young prodigy brimming with enthusiasm for music, an enthusiasm so strong that it would eventually shape his entire life. Born on April 19, 1935 in Dagenham, England, Dudley was raised in a humble working-class environment, making his remarkable musical abilities all the more striking. Even as a small child, just 6 years old, he joined a church choir where his keen ear for melody and vocal control quickly stood out. That early exposure to church music likely laid the groundwork for his later accomplishments, not only honing his sense of harmony, but also cultivating the discipline required for a career in both music and performance. By the age of 11, Dudley had achieved what most children only dream of, securing a scholarship to the prestigious Guildhall School of Music in London. This was an extraordinary opportunity, especially for a boy of such a young age and modest background. At Guildhall, Dudley immersed himself in a rigorous curriculum, exploring instruments as diverse as the harpsichord, organ, and violin. It's fascinating to consider how mastering each of these instruments influenced his perspective on music. The harpsichord, for instance, called for refined fingerwork and meticulous timing, while the organ demanded a powerful sense of coordination, managing multiple keyboards and foot pedals simultaneously. Meanwhile, the violin required a keen sense of pitch and a delicate touch with the bow. Handling such a broad musical palette surely expanded Dudley's creativity and technical expertise. As if these pursuits weren't already challenging enough for a child, Dudley also showed a natural flair for musical theory and composition. This intellectual side of his musicality, understanding how chords, melodies, and counterpoint fit together, set him apart from many of his peers. It's easy to imagine that even in adolescence he was exploring ways to fuse classical elements with his own burgeoning style, foreshadowing the blend of humor, improvisation, and charm that would characterize his later performances. By the tender age of 14, Dudley was already being entrusted with playing the organ at church weddings and other events. For many teenagers, performing in front of an audience is a nerve-wracking notion, yet Dudley managed it with a composure far beyond his years. This newfound responsibility didn't just show that he was technically skilled, it also demonstrated his reliability and poise under pressure, qualities that would become essential during his later rise to fame. These early gigs provided him with practical real-world performance experience, forging an unshakable confidence that would prove invaluable when he eventually stepped onto comedy and theatrical stages. Dudley's childhood was a compelling blend of raw talent, rigorous training, and a relentless passion for music. Though born into modest circumstances, he displayed an indomitable spirit that propelled him to take on increasingly challenging musical endeavors. His commitment to excellence at such a young age foreshadowed the multifaceted entertainer he would become, an actor, comedian, and musician whose brilliance lit up both the stage and the silver screen. Family. Dudley Moore's family story offers an intriguing glimpse into the environment that shaped his earliest years, demonstrating how humble beginnings can sometimes spark extraordinary achievements. His parents, John and Ada Moore, both worked in blue-collar roles, an aspect of their lives that likely instilled Dudley with a sense of humility and perseverance from a very young age. Growing up in the mid-20th century, they would have faced the daily realities of working-class life, which may have made Dudley's emergence as a notable entertainer all the more remarkable. It's easy to imagine that his parents' hard-working ethic, along with the modest resources available to them, nurtured his drive to excel, especially in music, which demands unrelenting practice, discipline, and a willingness to overcome challenges. In this family unit, Dudley was not an only child. He had an older sister named Barbara, whose presence could have added to his early experiences. Siblings often influence one another's interests and development, sometimes spurring a sense of healthy competition or providing moral support. Even a small gesture, like Barbara encouraging him to sing around the house or praising his fledgling musical abilities, might have boosted Dudley's confidence and passion for performance. While we don't have extensive details about their specific relationship, it's possible that having an older sister gave Dudley someone to look up to, share experiences with, or even entertain during those early years when he was honing his budding musical talents. In many ways, John and Ada Moore's world would have contrasted sharply with the glitzy stage and Hollywood sets their son would later inhabit. Yet that grounding in a working-class community may have played a pivotal role in forming Dudley's practical outlook on life and his approachable charm, qualities that resonated with audiences throughout his career. It's also worth noting that financial limitations can sometimes push a gifted child to practice even harder, making every opportunity count. Dudley's later success as a pianist and performer might well have been fueled by that determination, born of necessity and ambition intertwined. Even as the spotlight eventually found him, the influence of a loving, hard-working household in Dagenham likely remained a source of quiet strength. Whether consciously or not, that upbringing would become a crucial pillar of the humor, discipline, and authenticity he brought to every role he played and every note he struck on the piano. Career. Dudley Moore was a true Renaissance man, possessing a wide range of talents that made him a household name. His incredible ability to act, sing, compose music, and play the piano set him apart from other entertainers of his time. Despite his reputation as a comic actor, Dudley was also a gifted classical and jazz pianist. He first rose to prominence in the United Kingdom, where he enjoyed great success as both a comedian and an actor on television. However, it was his move to Hollywood in the 1970s that propelled him to international fame. Over the next few decades, Dudley appeared in several critically acclaimed films, earning accolades for his performances as well as his musical contributions. Whether he was tickling the ivories on the big screen or making audiences laugh with his quick wit and impeccable timing, Dudley never failed to impress. After graduating from Oxford University in 1958, Dudley Moore quickly established himself as a talented jazz pianist. He began performing in clubs and bars around London, earning a reputation for his virtuosity and his ability to improvise on the piano. However, Dudley's life took an unexpected turn when he was offered a role in the satirical comedy Beyond the Fringe. The show, which also featured Peter Cook, Jonathan Miller, and Alan Bennett, quickly became a sensation in both the United States and Britain. In 1962, the show moved to the John Golden Theater in New York, with its original cast intact. Even President John F. Kennedy was a fan and attended a performance in February of 1963. The show continued to run in New York until 1964, cementing Dudley's status as a rising star in the world of comedy. Following the success of Beyond the Fringe, Dudley Moore and co-star Peter Cook embarked on a new project, a television series called Not Only, But Also. The show was a hit, running for 6 years and introducing audiences to the comedic partnership of Moore and Cook. The two became fast friends and went on to work together on several productions, including the films The Wrong Box and Bedazzled. Despite their close friendship and successful collaborations, Dudley eventually decided to break away from Cook and focus on his film career. He starred in several films during the late 1960s, including 30 is a Dangerous Age, Cynthia. His performances were well received, and he quickly became known as one of the most talented actors of his generation. Dudley's film career continued to soar. He starred in the successful movie 10 in 1979 alongside Bo Derek. His next film was Arthur in 1981, where he co-starred with Liza Minnelli. This movie was his most successful and even earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. He went on to star in more films, including Like Father, Like Son in 1987, Arthur II, On the Rocks in 1988, and Crazy People in 1990. Despite his busy schedule in the film industry, Moore always found time to pursue his first and greatest passion, music. He used his musical skills to compose scores for several of his films, including Bedazzled, 1967, and Inadmissible Evidence, 1968. During his career, Dudley Moore won 2 Tony Awards, a Grammy, and 2 Golden Globes. In June 2001, he was recognized for his contributions to film and theater with the Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE Award. Despite a decline in health, he traveled to Buckingham Palace to receive the honor. Scandal. Interestingly, when it comes to Dudley Moore, there isn't a widely reported scandal that captured headlines or tarnished his public image in any significant way. While many high-profile entertainers encounter controversies or tabloid-fueled drama during their careers, the original text indicates that Moore's journey was relatively free of such incidents. That doesn't mean his life was devoid of challenges. He certainly had personal ups and downs, especially in his relationships and health. But these never escalated into the kind of sensational story that might dominate headlines. One reason for this could be Dudley's overall demeanor. Known for his disarming warmth, quick wit, and genuine humility, he didn't display the brash or provocative behavior sometimes associated with celebrity scandals. Even as he worked alongside comedic partner Peter Cook, famed for their satirical sketches that occasionally pushed boundaries. Their humor mainly generated critical praise rather than public outrage. Any comedic material that might have been deemed edgy at the time still fell short of scandalous territory. Moreover, though Dudley underwent several divorces, these personal setbacks didn't evolve into high-profile disputes or public feuds often seen in show business. Instead, they seemed to unfold more quietly, suggesting that he and his former spouses resolved matters with minimal fanfare. In an industry where personal lives can easily become fodder for tabloids, Dudley's apparent ability to keep his private struggles relatively private may have helped him avoid the type of sensationalism that can overshadow a performer's work. It's also noteworthy that Moore's primary passion, music, tended to ground him in a sense of discipline, structure, and artistry. He was, after all, an accomplished pianist and composer with a genuine love for his craft. This dedication might have served as an anchor, focusing his attention on creativity and performance rather than on any potential distractions or public missteps. Additionally, his professional collaborations, whether in comedy, acting, or music, were often marked by respect and camaraderie, which left little room for controversy. While he faced his share of emotional and physical trials, None spiraled into the kind of scandal that would eclipse his talents or define his legacy. Instead, Moore is remembered as a multi-talented entertainer who maintained a measure of dignity, humor, and class, a rarity in a world that so often gravitates toward sensational headlines. Age. Dudley Moore's personal life was as eventful as his dazzling career, marked by a series of marriages that reflected both his enduring search for happiness and the unique challenges of life in the spotlight. His first marriage took place in 1968 when he tied the knot with actress Susie Kendall. At that point, he was already emerging as a promising talent in the entertainment world, and while details of their day-to-day life aren't widely documented, the strain of his rising fame, combined with the demands of Susie's acting career, may have played a part in their eventual split in 1972. 3 years later, in 1975, Dudley married actress Tuesday Weld, best known for her roles in films like Play It As It Lays and Looking for Mr. Goodbar. This union brought him his first child, a son named Patrick, and for a time it seemed like Dudley was stepping into a more settled phase of his life. However, by 1980, the pressures of Hollywood, combined with the complex nature of two creative individuals trying to balance work and family, led to another divorce. Dudley's professional life continued at a relentless pace. He was juggling acting, music composition, and high-profile comedic collaborations. Yet, he didn't give up on the idea of marriage. In 1988, he wed actress Brogan Lane. This was a relatively short-lived chapter, ending in divorce just 2 years later. The brevity of that marriage might suggest that Dudley's hectic schedule, along with the complexities of navigating two creative careers, once again made stability elusive. Undeterred, Dudley entered a fourth marriage in 1994, this time with Nicole Rothschild. Their union brought him another son, Nicholas Anthony, marking a new source of joy in his life. However, by 1998, that relationship, too, had come to an end. With each marriage, Dudley seemed intent on finding a long-term partnership, but the unique difficulties of being a prominent entertainer, constant travel, film shoots, and an ever-present public eye likely made this far more challenging than it would be for someone outside the limelight. It's important to note that these marriages and the subsequent divorces were not typically shrouded in scandal or acrimony. In fact, they often unfolded without the intense tabloid drama that sometimes surrounds celebrity relationships. Still, they illustrate the human side of Dudley Moore, a man who, despite his tremendous talent and achievements, was on a deeply personal quest for fulfillment and stability. Each marriage revealed a different stage in his life and career, reflecting both the excitement and the pressures that come with being a multi-talented star. Other relationships. Beyond Dudley Moore's notable marriages and individual career milestones, some of the most enriching aspects of his life came from the deep and long-standing relationships he forged with fellow artists, relationships that shaped both his comedic identity and his ongoing devotion to music. Chief among these was his remarkable partnership with Peter Cook. Together, they created a string of successful comedic works that played a crucial role in propelling both of them into the global spotlight. Their collaboration began with Beyond the Fringe, the groundbreaking satirical show that went on to captivate audiences in both the United Kingdom and the United States. The pair further cemented their comedic legacy with the television series Not Only, but also as well as films such as The Wrong Box and Bedazzled. They also ventured into more provocative territory with their Derek and Clive recordings. These underground audio sketches captured their most unfiltered comedic impulses, irreverent, at times shockingly explicit, yet undeniably sharp in their wit. Unlike their polished stage performances, Derek and Clive offered listeners a raw glimpse into the spontaneous chemistry between two brilliant minds, riffing on anything and everything. While these recordings weren't intended for a broad audience, they became cult favorites among fans who appreciated the duo's no-holds-barred approach to humor. For Dudley, the freedom to experiment without the constraints of public expectations was as electrifying as it was cathartic, reaffirming his collaborative bond with Cook on an entirely new level. Their humor was celebrated for its clever wit and avant-garde style, and their stage chemistry was electric, so much so that even President John F. Kennedy attended one of their performances, underscoring the duo's far-reaching impact. Yet Dudley's collaborative spirit extended well beyond comedy. In the 1990s, his passion for music took center stage again, leading him to become deeply involved with the charitable organization Music for All Seasons. He served not only as a performer, bringing his renowned piano skills to numerous benefit concerts at prestigious venues like Carnegie Hall, but also as the founding advisory board president, helping guide the organization's mission to bring music to individuals who, due to health or financial constraints, might otherwise never experience live performances. It was a deeply personal cause for Moore, reflecting his unwavering belief in the transformative power of music. During this period, he also toured alongside concert pianist and close friend Rena Fruchter, underscoring his commitment to maintaining a dynamic musical life despite his equally demanding acting and comedic pursuits. These meaningful partnerships, whether comedy or musical, highlight Dudley Moore's rare ability to collaborate seamlessly with other talented figures, each alliance revealing a different facet of his artistic range. Whether sparking laughter with Peter Cook or elevating charitable endeavors, through music with Rena Fruchter, Dudley's connections underscored a core principle of his life and career. Creativity thrives best when shared. Ultimately, these relationships not only enriched his own journey, but also left audiences worldwide with a legacy of heartfelt laughter and soul-stirring melodies. Death. Dudley Moore's final chapter is as poignant as it is reflective of his entire life story, steeped in music, cared for by dear friends, and ultimately ending with a quiet grace that still resonates with those who admired him. In his last years, Dudley faced a rare Parkinson's-like illness, supranuclear palsy, which gradually robbed him of his most cherished abilities. For a man who had spent decades captivating audiences at the piano and on screen, losing his mobility, speech, and especially his musical freedom was heartbreaking. Yet, even as his condition worsened, Dudley found solace in the very art form that had shaped his life. He listened to Mozart, Chopin, and the jazz recordings he so dearly loved, clinging to the sounds that had once been his musical playground. While these final months were undoubtedly difficult, there was also a profound sense of devotion and warmth around him. Dudley spent his remaining days in his Plainfield, New Jersey home under the compassionate care of his close friend and collaborator, concert pianist Rena Fruchter. It speaks to the genuine bonds he formed over the years that, when he needed support the most, it came from someone who appreciated him not just as a star, but as a human being. Unfortunately, his illness kept him from attending the wedding of his Arthur co-star Liza Minnelli in March 2002, a small but telling reminder of how much his life had changed. Rather than stepping out into the public eye one last time, he stayed home, watched movies, and immersed himself in the music that had always been his refuge. Fans and the media, upon learning of Dudley's deteriorating health, responded with an outpouring of empathy. For many, it was difficult to envision this once lively entertainer, whose comedic timing and musical virtuosity had lit up stages around the world, now confined by illness. News outlets recalled his iconic roles in Ten, Arthur, and beyond, and commentators praised his distinctive blend of humor and heart. This wave of support was a testament to the fondness audiences felt for a performer who had never lost his down-to-earth charm, even amidst fame and accolades. On March 27, 2002, Dudley passed away from pneumonia, a complication of his worsening condition. His final moments were accompanied by his own piano composition, Songs Without Words, echoing through the room as Rena Fruchter and her family held his hands. It was a quietly moving end, no grand spectacle or media circus, but a tender goodbye that echoed who Dudley Moore truly was. Just a few days later, around 70 friends and loved ones gathered at a funeral home in Watchung, New Jersey for a memorial service. The event was private, with those closest to him focusing on the person behind the celebrity, remembering his wit, his warmth, and, of course, his trademark sense of humor. A few playful, irreverent gestures during the service served as a final nod to the comedic spirit he embodied throughout his life. Though Dudley Moore's passing might not have garnered the massive headlines that sometimes follow the death of a Hollywood icon, fans worldwide felt the weight of his absence. Tributes in newspapers and entertainment programs highlighted his unique blend of comedic charm, musical brilliance, and generous spirit. In that sense, his departure was not only a loss to film and stage, but also a reminder of how deeply a humble entertainer can touch the hearts of strangers. And perhaps that is the most fitting legacy of all. In the end, Dudley Moore departed this world much the same way he lived in it, surrounded by music, kindness, and a gentle humor that has never quite faded from public memory. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through Dudley Moore's life, his humble beginnings, brilliant career, personal ups and downs, and ultimately, his sad final days. Though his story ended in heartbreak, his contributions to film, comedy, and music continue to shine brightly. We hope this tribute offers deeper insight into his remarkable legacy and honors the memory of an artist whose warmth, wit, and musical genius touched countless lives. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of those who left an indelible mark on the world, just like the unforgettable Dudley Moore.